So what is up, guys? Suda the Savage back, and today we're here with NFL Week Johnny Hekker, Jay Cutler, and Thomas Morstead predictions. It is Week 6 predictions. If you're looking to watch a certain matchup, timestamps are in the description box below, so click on that matchup you want to watch. Anyways, last week I went 13 for 16, clearly my best performance of the season, but as always, there's room for improvement. Now, this is the first week where there's buys in the NFL, so off this week are the Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans Saints, New York Jets, and the San Francisco 49ers. So got 14 matchups to get to, so without further ado, let's get this video started. So we're starting off with our Thursday Night Football matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Starting out with the Buccaneers, last week he came off a 45-17 victory over the Miami Dolphins. Starting off, Tom Brady threw for 411 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks. Clearly one of the front runners for MVP. Lead rusher was Leonard Fournette as he had 67 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver, Antonio Brown, 7 receptions, 124 yards and 2 tutties. And then you followed up Mike Evans, who was just as good, 6 receptions, 113 yards and 2 tutties. And then Chris Godwin, 7 receptions, 70 yards. The defense, you struggled against the Miami Dolphins in the first quarter, but then you completely locked them down, as I would expect, because the Dolphins' offense is not that great. And then the Eagles, a bit of a shocking victory over the Carolina Panthers. You beat up a bunch of frauds, and that's good to see. You beat NFC South rivals, so thank you. Anyways, Jalen Hurts threw for 198 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Followed up, Miles Sanders ran for 45 yards, but Jalen Hurts, he was the only guy to have a rushing touchdown as he had 30 yards and 2 touchdowns. Followed up, lead receiver Devontae Smith, 7 receptions, 77 yards. Then Quez Watkins, 3 receptions, 48 yards. And then finished that off, Dallas Goedert, 2 receptions, 28 yards. The defense, you just made Sam Darnold's life a living hell. You completely silenced the passing offense. The rushing game, yeah, you struggled a little bit against Chuba Hubbard. But other than that, you completely locked them up. Can you lock up the Buccaneers this week like you did the Panthers? Bucs are 7-point favorites, and yeah, give me the Bucs. They win and cover the spread. And now you have our very first Sunday matchup, 9:30 again. We got another London match between the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars. If there's something the NFL loves, they love to get the Jacksonville Jaguars out in London, which is a terrible business decision because the Jaguars suck. And the Dolphins also suck this year, but, Battle of Florida. Not really that good. Anyways, starting off, Jacoby Brissett, in a 17-45 loss against the Buccaneers, he threw for 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He was pretty solid in the first quarter, but other than that, just couldn't really do much. Followed up, Myles Gaskin only had 25 rushing yards. The rush game is just inexistent because you guys are having to play catch-up. Anyways, but Myles Gaskin was your lead receiver, 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Followed up with Preston Williams, 3 receptions, 60 yards, and Mike Gesicki, 4 receptions, 43 yards. That was pretty much it. No one else really did anything. Your defense, you silenced the Buccaneers for the first quarter, and then you had the next 3 quarters. Just got completely scorched. And then the Jaguars against the Titans, I did not expect you guys to play well. Trevor Lawrence threw for 273 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. But James Robinson had a breakout performance, ran for 149 yards and a touchdown. And Trevor Lawrence joined in on the action with 28 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver was Dan Arnold, 6 receptions, 64 yards, followed by Laviska Shenault Jr., only 1 reception, but it was for 58 yards. Then Tavon Austin, 5 receptions, 54 yards, and then Jamal Agnew, 6 receptions, 41 yards. The defense, Ryan Tannehill really didn't have to do much against you guys because it was literally just all Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry just completely ran all over your defense, and then you had that 1 fumble that the Titans returned for a touchdown. So, I was expecting, I did not expect you guys to try to penetrate the Titans defense because I know your offense is just not that good. Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites to win. I'm going to say that they win, but don't cover the spread. And now you have our very first 1 o'clock matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Detroit Lions. Starting off with the Bengals, close game against the Green Bay Packers, but it was ultimately undone by your kicker, Evan McPherson, as he missed 2 game-winning field goals and a 25-22 loss to the Packers in overtime. Starting off, Joe Burrow threw for 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Lead rusher was Sean Perrine with 59 yards, and then Mixon with 33 and a touchdown. Lead receiver was Jamar Chase, and it wasn't even close. 6 receptions, 159 yards and a touchdown. Because the next receiver was T. Higgins, 5 receptions, 32 yards. So that connection between Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, that's going to be fun to watch for the next few years in the NFL. And then Perrine, he had 24 yards and a touchdown in the receiving game, so that's pretty good. The defense, they really struggled against the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, you limited them to only 25 points, which is actually pretty impressive, but you couldn't stop Davante Adams. But to be honest, when Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams are clicking, no one is stopping them. Maybe Jalen Ramsey, who knows. And then the Lions, Jesus Christ. somehow you find a way to go lower. You know, the Saints, we always find a way to go lower in the playoffs. You guys just go lower as a franchise in general. Lost 19-17 to the Minnesota Vikings off a game-winning field goal by Greg Joseph. Jared Goff threw for 203 yards, one touchdown, no touchdowns and a pick. Lead rusher was Jamal Williams with 57 yards, followed up with DeAndre Swift. He had 51 yards and a touchdown. Followed up with St. Brown. He had 7 receptions, 65 yards, and then Swift 6 receptions, 53 yards, and then finished it off Quintez Cephas 3 receptions, 38 yards. So literally, you just the only way Detroit would lose would be for the Vikings not to do a classic Vikings and miss a game-winning field goal. The defense, you struggled a little bit against Alex Mattinson, but you limited the Vikings to only 19 points, which is impressive, but we don't give out participation trophies. That's just not how it works. And I feel for Lions fans. I feel for you guys. I'm so sorry. Bengals are 3.5-point favorites. Yeah, that they win and cover the spread. Now you have our very next matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Washington Football Team. Starting out with the Chiefs, alarm bells should be ringing right now. You lost to the Bills 38-20. Now, you lost to a legitimate opponent, but I am concerned about that defense. That defense has just been exposed all season long. I don't see you guys making the deep run with the defense playing the way that it is. Patrick Mahomes, he can only do so much. He threw for 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. He was also your lead rusher with 61 yards, so that's not really a good look for Darrell Williams and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Then followed up lead receiver was McCole Hardman with 9 receptions for 76 yards. Then Tyreek Hill, 7 receptions, 63 yards. Something I've noticed with Chiefs games this year is that teams that are able to neutralize Tyreek Hill are going to win the game. They're going to win the game because, Kelsey, he can only do so much damage. But, once you lock down Tyreek Hill, you just got a bunch of, average receivers that you just got to beat. Nothing really that special. Because Tyreek Hill, he's averaging over 100. He's averaging 160 yards in games that the Chiefs have won. But the most receiving yards he had in a game when the Chiefs have lost this season was this one, 63 against the Bills. Then your defense just fell apart to the Buffalo Bills. But it's the Bills. They're pretty strong. And then Kelsey, 6 receptions, 57 yards, and a touchdown. And then the football team, yeah, you also, alarm bells should be ringing for you guys. That defense, the hype that it had, is you guys have failed to live up to that. Taylor Heinicke had probably his worst performance as a starter, threw for 248 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks against the Saints. Lead rusher was Antonio Gibson with 60 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then Heinicke had 40 yards. Lead receiver was Adam Humphries, 3 receptions, 73 yards, and Carter had 4 receptions, 62 yards, and then Scary Terry couldn't really produce because Lattimore was just locking him down. Love you, Marshawn. He had 4 receptions, 46 yards. And that's pretty much it. The defense, the Saints were in a lot of ruts, so you guys were able to capitalize on that on defense, but not on the offensive side. Chiefs are 7-point favorites to win this one. I'm going to say that they win, but don't cover the spread. And now you have our very next matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Carolina Panthers. Starting out with the Vikings, dude, you guys have been terrible in your last 2 games. Your offense has just been completely limited the last 2 games. It's just been disappointing to see. Starting off, Kirk Cousins threw for 275 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Alex Mattinson was your lead rusher with 113 yards, so a pretty good game for him. Lead receiver was Justin Jefferson, just broke out. 7 receptions, 124 yards. He's the guy, gritty his way through the NFL. Then Mattinson, he had 40 yards and a touchdown in the receiving game, so yeah, he did it all for the Vikings. And then Adam Thielen had 2 receptions for 40 yards, and that was pretty much it. The defense, you held the Lions, but it's the freaking Lions. And your offense didn't do much better and got bailed out by a Greg Joseph game-winning field goal. Usually, a Vikings kicker in a scenario where it's kick a field goal to win, miss it, you lose, you screw it up most of the time. Not this time. And then the Panthers, you guys have been exposed your last 2 games, but last game against Philly, that was just embarrassing. Sam Darnold threw for 177 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Everyone was saying, "Oh my God, after 3 games, he's free of the Jets, he's free of Adam Gase." Well, he's not as good as we all thought he was. He's super overrated. But he's better without the Jets, but still, I'm not sure if he could be that guy. Then Chuba Hubbard ran for 101 yards. Pretty good day for him. Followed up, lead receiver was DJ Moore, 5 receptions, 42 yards. Ian Thomas, 4 receptions, 40 yards. Then Chuba Hubbard, 5 receptions, 33 yards. And then Robbie Anderson, 2 receptions, 30 yards. The defense, you stopped Philly. You held them off for as long as possible, but Philly made a late push in the game. and just ended up winning. So that was an embarrassing showing by Carolina. Minnesota, they are favored to win this one by 1, but the way that their offense has been the last 2 games, I'm going to give this one to Carolina. I'm going to say that Carolina gets a bounce-back victory here. And now you have our very next matchup between the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. Starting off with the Texans, wow, you almost beat the Patriots. You had them for a while, but the fourth quarter you fell apart. Anyways, Davis Mills had a really good game, threw for 312 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Mark Ingram was your lead rush with 41 yards. I'm surprised you didn't really use the rush game more, especially when you were up by so much. Then lead receiver was Chris Moore, as he had 5 receptions, 109 yards and a touchdown. Follow that with Chris Conley, 3 receptions, 84 yards and a touchdown. Then David Johnson, 5 receptions, 46 yards. And then Cooks, he's been struggling to produce his last couple of games, as he only had 3 receptions, 23 yards. The defense, you held off the Patriots for as long as you could, but of course you let your foot off the gas in the fourth quarter, and you can't let your foot off the gas the way you did. And then the Colts. Oh my God, you were so close to beating the Baltimore Ravens. You had a 98.4% chance to win at one point, and you fell apart. Carson Wentz, I don't really think he's the problem in Indianapolis. He had an excellent game against the Ravens, threw for 402 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Jonathan Taylor, lead rush with 53 yards and a touchdown. Then Marlon Mack with 47 yards, and Nyheim Hines with 18 yards. Lead receiver was also Jonathan Taylor, 3 receptions, 116 yards and a touchdown, but one of them was just kind of a screen pass. Then followed up with Michael Pittman Jr. He's been doing well this season. 6 receptions, 89 yards and a touchdown. Even though I said he needs to really step it up, he has. So good on you, Michael Pittman Jr. Then Paris Campbell, 4 receptions, 56 yards. Then Mo Alley Cox, 3 receptions, 50 yards. And then finish that off, Zach Pascal, 3 receptions, 48 yards. The defense, shut down the Ravens at first. You had a couple of big goal line stands, but you let your foot off the gas. You cannot let your foot off the gas. You can't go conservative. No matter what it is, no matter how close you are to victory, you don't let the foot off the gas. You keep going full throttle. Anyways, Colts are favored to win this one by 9.5, and I'm going to say that they win, but don't cover the spread. And now you have our very next matchup between the LA Rams and the New York Giants. Starting off with the Rams, 26-17 victory over the Seattle Seahawks, although the game was a lot closer than it should have been. Anyways, Matt Stafford threw for 365 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Darrell Henderson was your lead rusher with 82 yards and a touchdown, followed up Sony Michel, 37 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver, wasn't Cooper Kupp. Robert Woods broke out, 12 receptions, 150 yards. And then it was Cooper Kupp, 7 receptions, 92 yards. And then Deshaun Jackson only had 1 reception, but it was for 68 yards. The defense had a little bit of trouble with Russell Wilson when he was in the game, and also when Geno Smith was in the game. So that is definitely a concerning point. And back to the offense, the first half for you guys was absolutely atrocious. But the second half, you completely picked it up. So, it was good to see. And then the New York Giants, you guys might be in some trouble. Last game, you lost Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, Kenny Golladay. Those guys might not be in it for this week. And that is definitely going to be a massive concern. Anyways, Daniel Jones threw for 98 yards when he was playing and didn't even complete 50% of his passes. So in comes Mike Glennon, threw for 196 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Yeah, Mike Glennon is not the guy going forward. Lead rusher was Devontae Booker with 42 yards and a touchdown. I almost said Devin Booker. Keep thinking it's the NBA. Anyways, then Kadarius Toney had 10 receptions, 189 yards, had a breakout performance until he punched a Cowboy and got ejected. Could have had 200 yards, man. Such a disappointment. Then Evan Ingram had 4 receptions, 55 yards, and then Devontae Booker, 3 receptions, 16 yards, and a touchdown. And that was pretty much it. The defense completely got exposed by the Dallas Cowboys. But it's the Dallas Cowboys. Their offense is pretty damn good. No one's really going to stop them. I'm not even sure if Daniel Jones is going to play this game. He didn't practice. So Rams 10-point favorites. They win and cover the spread. And now you have our very next matchup between the LA Chargers and the Baltimore Ravens. Starting off with the Chargers. Wow. What a game against the Cleveland Browns. I wish I got to watch more of that because that was just a show. Won 47-42. Justin Herbert broke out 398 yards, 4 touchdowns, no pick. Clearly a front runner for MVP. Followed up Austin Eckler with 66 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Justin Herbert, 29 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver was Mike Williams, 8 receptions, 165 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Keenan Allen, 6 receptions, 75 yards. And then Austin Eckler, 5 receptions, 53 yards, and added a touchdown there. The defense, come on. You give up 42 points in a game. There's no way in hell I'm praising your defense. The rush game completely exposed by Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, but it's Chubb and Hunt. It's tough to stop that duo. And Baker Mayfield did as much as he could against you, and also David Njoku. They kept toe-to-toe with you, but then Baker, and there were a couple of questionable calls, and they fell to you on the final drive. And then the Ravens, that was a rough showing. First 3 quarters against the Indianapolis Colts was terrible, but then the fourth quarter and overtime, you turned it up. Maybe Lamar Jackson went to the washroom in between the third and the fourth quarter because he just lit it up. 442 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. He also ran for 62 yards. Lead receiver was Mark Andrews, 11 receptions, 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Hollywood Brown, 9 receptions, 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hollywood Brown has done amazing this season, all the haters were coming in, myself included, and he stepped it up. So many props to him. The defense had trouble against Carson Wentz and Jonathan Taylor because they kind of had fun with you, and same with Michael Pittman Jr., but you locked them down in the fourth quarter, even though you probably shouldn't have won because Blankenship missed the game-winning field goal. But he was injured, so I think a healthy Blankenship would have made that. Ravens are favored to win this one by 3, but I don't really like the Ravens this season. I think a lot of their games have been too close. They're a lot closer than they should have been, so give me the Chargers in this one. And now you have our very next match between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. A classic rivalry, although it's completely lost steam in the past couple of years. Anyway, starting off with the Packers, came off a 25-22 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. Not really deserved, because, both kickers in this game were atrocious. Mason Crosby and Evan McPherson missed so many game-winning field goals. Anyway, starting out, but Aaron Rodgers threw for 344 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, so a pretty good day for him. Lead rusher was Aaron Jones with 103 yards, followed up with A.J. Dillon with 30 yards. Lead receiver was Devontae Adams, just scorched the Bengals for 11 receptions, 206 yards and a touchdown. And then A.J. Dillon, 4 receptions, 49 yards and a touchdown. And then Mercedes Lewis, 2 receptions, 34 yards. That was pretty much it. The defense really struggled against Perrine and Jamar Chase, so that's definitely a bit of a concern. But, pulled out a victory, even though it was really undeserved. And then the Bears came with a victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Justin Fields was okay. Threw for 111 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Herbert was your lead rush with 75 yards, but Damian Williams was the one who did the damage with 64 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver was Darnell Mooney, 3 receptions, 35 yards, and then Allen Robinson, 4 receptions, 32 yards, and then Cole Kmet, 2 receptions, 22 yards. And your only touchdown receiver was Horsted, and he only had 1 reception for 2 yards. The defense just completely silenced the Las Vegas Raiders, but they have bigger issues right now, which I'll talk about later. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But the Packers are favored to win this one by 4.5. I'm going to say that they win and cover the spread. And now you have our very first 4 o'clock matchup between the Arizona Cardinals and the Cleveland Browns. Starting with the Cardinals, you're 5-0. That's pretty impressive. Kyler Murray threw for 239 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Lead rusher was actually Rashard Moore with 38 yards, and then James Conner with 29 yards and a touchdown. And yeah, that was pretty much it for the rushing game. Lead receiver was DeAndre Hopkins, 6 receptions, 87 yards and a touchdown. Then Rashard Moore, 5 receptions, 59 yards. And then Christian Kirk, 5 receptions, 39 yards. But, the offense was kind of lackluster this game, but it was completely carried by the defense. The defense silenced 49ers and are the reason the Cardinals still remain undefeated. They were the reason they won against the 49ers. The defense did it all. A lot of props to you guys. I mean, it was against Trey Lance in his first start, so there's definitely a little bit of questions about it. So, but anyways, it doesn't matter. You're 5-0. Then the Cleveland Browns came up short to the LA Chargers in a barn burner. Baker Mayfield threw for 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Lead rusher was Nick Chubb, 161 rushing yards and a touchdown. And then Kareem Hunt, 61 yards and 2 touchdowns. You had 230 rushing yards. That ground game is just so lethal. Then followed up, lead receiver was actually David Njoku, 7 receptions, 149 yards, and a touchdown. And then Donovan Peoples-Jones, 5 receptions, 70 yards. And then Rashard Higgins, 3 receptions, 29 yards, and a touchdown. The defense, there's really nothing I can say about that. That defense was awful. Both defenses in that game were awful, but the Browns were just a little bit worse. Surprisingly, Cleveland's actually favored to win this game by 3, but give me the Cardinals as they go into 6-0. And now you have our very next matchup between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. Starting off with the Raiders, tough 20-9 loss to the Chicago Bears. Derek Carr threw for 206 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. Lead rusher was Josh Jacobs with 48 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver, Hunter Renfrow, 6 receptions, 56 yards. And then Henry Ruggs, 3 receptions, 51 yards. And then finished that off, Darren Waller, 4 receptions, 45 yards. The defense really struggled against the Browns' Bears' run game. And Justin Fields, all he had to do was be a game manager, and they would be fine. But that is nothing in comparison to what just happened, because John Gruden has just resigned as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, as racist, homophobic, and sexist emails that he sent out years ago were found. And honestly, what he said was absolutely disgusting. There's no place for that in the NFL. So he's no longer a part of the Raiders, and never going to be in the NFL again. No way he's going to be in the NFL, because the Buccaneers just took him off the Ring of Honor, so there's no place for him anymore. Anyways, Rich Bisaccia, he's going to be the interim head coach, so wonder how that's going to go. And then the Denver Broncos got exposed again, this time against the Steelers. That's not a team you want to lose to. Teddy Bridgewater threw for 288 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a crucial pick to end the game. Lead rusher was Javonte Williams, 8 carries for 61 yards, and then Melvin Gordon, he had 34 yards. Lead receiver was Courtland Sutton, 7 receptions, 120 yards and a touchdown. Then Tim Patrick, 7 receptions, 89 yards. And then Kendall Hinton, it was good to see him, 2 receptions, 25 yards and a touchdown. Good for Kendall Hinton, because I still feel bad for what he had to do last year. The defense really struggled against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and when your defense is hyped up that much and you lose to this kind of Big Ben, alarm bells should be ringing. But Denver's favored by 3.5 to win this one. I'm going to say that they win and cover the spread. And now you have our very next matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the New England Patriots. Starting off with the Cowboys, huge victory, 44-20 over the New York Giants. Dak Prescott threw for 302 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Excellent game for him. But Zeke was the main man, ran for 110 yards and a touchdown. And then Tony Pollard had 75 yards. Total of 201 rushing yards for you guys. That's an excellent performance. That ground game is strong as hell. But so is the receiving game. CeeDee Lamb had 4 receptions, 84 yards and a touchdown. Followed by Dalton Schultz, 6 receptions, 79 yards. And then Amari Cooper, 3 receptions, 60 yards and a touchdown. The defense really struggled against Kadarius Toney and Mike Glennon. So there's a bit of a concern on that. But other than that, outside of that, the defense was pretty good. And then the Patriots, that was way too close against the Houston Texans. The game should not have been as close as it was. You should not have only won by 3, and you should not have been down for them against them in most of the game. Anyways, Mac Jones threw for 231 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He was okay. Lead rusher was Damian Harris with 58 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver was Hunter Henry, 6 receptions, 75 yards and a touchdown. And then Jacoby Myers, 4 receptions, 56 yards. And then Nelson Aguilar, 3 receptions, 32 yards. And that was pretty much it. The defense really struggled against the Houston Texans. Just could not do anything against them in the first 3 quarters. But the 4th quarter, you picked it up and were bailed out by Nick Folk. Nick Folk was your best player of that game. So props out to him for an excellent game. He missed the game winner against the Buccaneers in Week 4, but he completely redeemed himself against the Texans. So good on Nick Folk. Cowboys are 4-point favorites to win this one. Yeah, boys win and cover the spread. And now you have our Sunday Night Football matchup, a rematch of Super Bowl 40 between the Seattle Seahawks and the Pittsburgh Steelers, often regarded as the most rigged Super Bowl in NFL history. Anyway, starting out with the Seattle Seahawks, you guys are in some trouble. Russell Wilson, he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks with a torn finger ligament in his middle finger. And, you got Geno Smith coming in, and with how your defense has been this season, you guys are screwed. No way you win the division. Possible chance for a wild card, but I'm doubting it. Anyway, starting off, Russell Wilson threw for 152 yards, a touchdown and a pick before he got injured. Geno Smith had 131 yards, a touchdown and a pick in his time. Lead rusher was Alex Collins with 47 yards. Lead receiver was DK Metcalf, 5 receptions, 98 yards, and 2 touchdowns. One of them was against Jalen Ramsey, so the son steps up to his father. Must be one proud dad. No, I'm just kidding. Jalen Ramsey probably wants revenge. Then Tyler Lockett, 5 receptions, 57 yards, and that was pretty much it. The defense did well against the Rams in the first half, but then the second half they completely fell apart. And like I said, if your defense continues to play the way that it does, and I really don't think Geno Smith is going to be as good as he was on Thursday night, so you guys are screwed. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers, shocking victory over the Denver Broncos. Ben Roethlisberger had a good game, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Lead rusher was Najee Harris. He had a great game, 122 yards and a touchdown. Lead receiver was Chase Claypool, 5 receptions, 130 yards and a touchdown, followed by Deontay Johnson with 2 receptions, 72 yards and a touchdown. Juju Smith-Schuster did get injured. He did have to have season-ending shoulder surgery, so that's definitely going to hurt the receiving game. So that's a loss for Pittsburgh. And you also lost a ton of guys due to injuries, so that's definitely going to be a huge concern. The defense silenced the Denver Broncos for the first 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, they made some noise, but then you picked off Teddy Bridgewater on the final drive. So clutch stop. Anyway, Steelers are favored to win this one by 4.5. I'm going to say that they win, but don't cover the spread. And now you have our final matchup, Monday Night Football, between the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans. Rematch of the Music City Miracle, and also last year when Derrick Henry just completely stiff-armed and embarrassed Josh Norman. Anyways, Buffalo Bills, statement victory, 38-20 over the Kansas City Chiefs. Josh Allen threw for 315 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Lead rusher was also Josh Allen with 59 yards and a touchdown and another sweet hurdle. Lead receiver was surprisingly Dawson Knox with 3 receptions, 117 yards and a touchdown, followed by Stephon Diggs, 2 receptions, 69 yards, nice. Then Zach Moss, 3 receptions, 55 yards, and then Emmanuel Sanders, 3 receptions, 54 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The defense just was able to silence the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, you did give up 20 points, but keeping the Chiefs to 20 points, that's pretty impressive. So I've been impressed with you guys so far this season. Although one thing I do want to see is you beat up a really good defense. You can do that, and I'll have you in the Super Bowl. I still think you're a Super Bowl favorite. And then the Titans came off a 37-19 victory over the Jaguars, but it's the Jaguars. Tannehill threw for 197 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. But Derrick Henry ran the show with 130 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns, beating up Jacksonville like he always does, although it's better on a Monday night, on a primetime setting. Anyways, lead receiver was Johnson with 52 yards, followed by A.J. Brown, 3 receptions, 38 yards. Then Andy Fursker, 3 receptions, 33 yards. And that was pretty much it. The defense struggled against the Jacksonville Jaguars, especially James Robinson, as he broke out. But you did get a defensive touchdown, so that's, step in the right direction, even though your defense still sucks. Bills are 5.5-point favorites. Yeah, they win and cover the spread easily. And that is going to wrap up my video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to see all of my other weekly predictions and Saints recaps, links to all that will be in the description below. Also in the description, timestamp for each matchup. If you want to see my Saints and football team recap, click right over here. Like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already by clicking here, or by scrolling down and clicking subscribe. It means a whole lot to me. Anyways, comment down below what you have for this week. Who's your upset of the week, lock of the week. Make sure to follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, @BrennanSuter. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Who Dat Nation on the bye week. Still going to make these videos. Is